that is what personal branding is all about. And then when you go to self-packaging is not only how you dress. You will actually not call it your casual way of dressing or your what, but it's how you actually impact the public, the public and the people you live with. So, well, I would urge us all to gather up our minds. I would urge all of us to gather up our minds. Be positive always, be natural, be real, and kindly impact our societies positively in order to make good brands of ourselves. I remain Amina Chovia. God bless you all.
Thank you for that powerful presentation and for asking God to bless us, including me. I rarely get these blessings, but when I come here, I go home very well blessed because of how you guys always ask God to bless us. So thank you so much, our participants. I see there is someone raising the hand, though I don't have that hand on my program. But we can see how we can. Are you still raising? Okay, fine. Let me just fix your hand on my program so that you can say what you want to say.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, the topic is personal branding, and I feel like I should also brand myself. I'm Faraja Edward from Makela University. I appreciate the previous speakers, but there are two key points they left out. Perhaps I feel like they should talk about. There's what we call networking and self-awareness. Before you brand yourself, are you aware of yourself? The truth is, there are things you should know about yourself, values, strengths, and weaknesses. So those are things you need to identify yourself before you brand yourself. Then there's what we call networking. There's a saying that goes, your network is your network. So which kind of people you know in your circle? Of course, you come out for any political position, but definitely no one knows you. They'll be like, who is this guy? So you need to network with various people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edward, for fixing yourself on my program and for sharing with us those beautiful insights. Yes, I think it deserves another round of applause. I hope there is no any other person who wants to fix him or herself on my program. So I really want to appreciate the speakers that came here. I hope you and I we have picked one or two things that will help us in packaging ourselves and also branding ourselves. If I'm to use the business language of packaging and branding, for me, I think packaging for me, packaging is a box where we put products. Then the branding are the wording on the box where our product is in. So for me, that's a simple understanding of packaging and branding. So in terms of people, the body is the box, then the branding is what comes out of this shape of the body, right? That's my understanding. I'm not forcing you to take mine. You can also pick yours, right? Okay. So I want to move to the next speaker, who is my friend. Now I started introducing my friends and inviting them to speak. So I really want to invite the honorable member of And I think before I invite my friend, I need to first have this issue of microphone resolved so that my friend doesn't have to, struggle speak to you who are aspiring to be our friends. So I really want to invite the Honourable Member of Parliament, who is the National Female Youth Member of Parliament, Honourable Nyamtoro Fiona. I want to invite her to come and speak to us about this topic that we have been presenting, because we have shared our views, and we also want to hear from her of what she thinks of this topic that's for us. Honourable Fiona Nyamtoro, she's also the chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary Youth Forum, where I work as a policy analyst. So let me take the honor to invite my boss to come and speak to us.
When somebody that you work with introduces you like that, you have no audacity to question them tomorrow at work, do you? Ladies and gentlemen, in your different capacities, good evening. My name is Fiona Nyamtoro. I think I shouldn't resound who I am, but I am glad to be here with you this evening. It is always a delight to share with young people from different walks of life. I am always enthused to meet new faces as I am looking around the room right now. I do know quite a number of people though, and I hope by the time I leave I get to know more. I want to start by thanking the participants who came and expressed themselves about our topic of discussion. I am told this class is to go for 7 months, and allow me to congratulate you for the journey that you have moved so far. During my own time as a youth leader, I never had this opportunity that you guys are having right now. To be bundled up into a fellowship where we just gather to learn on how to better yourself, on how you can grow into a better leader for the future. I think if I had had this opportunity, I would probably be much better than I am today. And I hope all of you get to take it seriously. Now, to start with our talk for the day, I'm going to request that there is another microphone that is available, because I would like my sessions interactive along the way, so that I am not just dominant at speaking like as if I'm some lecturer who has come to tell you about a research topic. No. From the look of things, from the 5 participants that we had from here, each of us has a glimpse of what personal branding is all about. Each of us can sit down and envision what they think a good brand is, whom they want to associate with, and what they want to make of themselves. Now, I want to start by asking a question. I said earlier that I do know quite a number of faces in the room, but I'll still ask, how many people know me personally in this room? Oh, don't take these things so serious. By personal, I mean how many people have had an opportunity to interact with me. Yes, let's just keep it there. Interact with me. Okay? Those are quite a number of hands. And how many people have heard about me? You've all heard about me. Okay. So I am also going to pick five from the 2 categories. The people who know me personally. Can I have 5 people to tell us what they know about me? Where are the 5 people? Where is the microphone? I think you can stand and speak, can you? As we wait for the microphone to be arranged. Now they are only women. I want a guy. Okay, guy there is, yeah? Hey, there's another one here. The guys are wearing the word personal. Guys, relax.
Well, what I know about the Honorable, she's so calm, she's down. Actually, if you meet her without knowing her titles, you might think she's just a normal person. If you're looking at her, okay, normal person is becoming a problem. Like, you might think she's just a citizen of Uganda. Okay, you might not know that she's an MD or a leader somewhere. She's down to earth, and the simple interaction we had with her when we had the training at Las Vegas in Bunda, she came when the food, she sat down with us. Normally, you know. At most times when someone is given power, they're expected to be taking themselves as a little bit better than you. But what she was acting normal, and you would even step on her actually, without her reacting. So that's what I know about her. Yeah.
My dear, don't try stepping with me. I can promise you will not like the reaction.
What I know about Honorable Nyamtoro Fiona, in regards to her brand, first of all, she's down to earth. If you have approached her, you know that she's down to earth, and she will give you a listening ear in whatever capacity you come in. Second of all, she's very hardworking and ambitious. She has not let her power crowd her mind. She will show up even when you invite her for something very, very not of quality. Minor, I'm going to call it minor. Even when you invite her for something minor, she will show up. That is the honorable that I know.
You people, I only show up for serious things.
Thank you so much. Good evening to all. There is this saying that if you want to know someone's character, give them power and money. That's how you define someone's character. I got to know Honorable Nyamtoro when I was still a speaker at Toronto University. I invited her as a guest for our dinner, our guild dinner. In my invitation letter, I told her the function was going to start at 5. She reached the venue at 4. Even before the host reached the venue. She waited for over 3 hours before the function started. And she was still patient. She bared with us for not being good timekeepers, but she waited for us. We sat, she listened to us, and enjoyed with us. So what I mean here, she's a good timekeeper, and I have never called her unless she's so busy. She would inform me that yes, I am busy, but she would still come and respond in case you sent her a message, which is not common to most of the leaders in this country. I had a chance to invite so many members of parliament and other leaders, but you would call some of them, they would not respond. You would send them messages, they would blue tick you, which she didn't. So, like they have said, she's a down-to-earth leader and very responsible and timekeeping. Thank you. But before I forget, I defeated her in a game. I defeated her team in a game we played in Las Vegas under this academy. Yes.
For clarity, I did not play.
So 2 remaining.
Many people have spoken, and literally they've taken up all the points. But I would still want to react on issues of time management. She's a very good timekeeper, as he explained. What I would want to say is when we had our guild dinner, in Chambogo, like the Chambogo guild dinner, I found her seated among the audience, eh? And you know those things, you're tapping people, hey, thank you for coming, those things. I didn't know who she was. So I also go and rub her, pat her back, and I'm like, Bambi, thank you for coming, but not knowing who she was. And she didn't give me any attitude. Bambi, she smiled, she was so sweet, she was so kind, and Bambi, yeah, that is who she is.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, all protocol observed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadongo Mary Blessing from Victoria University. The first time I met Honorable Nyamtoro was at her office. I requested to see her. I had never met her, but I just wanted to build a relationship with her. Since I'm a student leader, and of course we'll be maybe having some things planning, and would need her support. So she gave me an appointment, and that time she gave me, she was at office to receive us. So she's a very good timekeeper. But most importantly, in line with her position as youth MP, she is very youthful. You know, we've had other platforms where we have youth leaders, and you look at the person and you're like, are you really a youth leader? But Honorable is so youthful. From how she acts, the love she has for us, the youth, how she embraces us when we meet her, and then she's jolly, her sense of fashion. So when you tell anyone that is our youth MP, it's clear. She has branded herself like she's a youth MP, irrespective of her age. If she ran again for that position, I would still vote for her a million times. Because I mean, I'm trying to emphasize the fact that she is as youthful as her position. And that brings us actually to our topic today. Everyone in your position, let people see that in you. And for me, I see the youth leader she is for us. We appreciate you, Honorable.
Okay. Thank you for the good compliments. Hey, I tell you what is the problem at the back. Someone knows me more personally. Okay. Just one hand.
Good evening, everyone.
I didn't know it is Micho. No.
Should I continue?
Yeah, sure, please.
I have known Nyamtoro for some time, and I'll comment not on the politics, but on her personal being. One thing I know about her is she's very hardworking. For those that are in politics, if you find her as an opponent, please run for your life, because she'll work to the fullest. If you work ×2, she'll work ×6, because I've witnessed that during her campaigns. The other thing is, what she would not want you to know, she's good at dancing.
You see, Micho, you were not supposed to hold that microphone.
She's also a graduate with a first class from Mackay University. So she's not just these politicians who do not want books. For privacy, I'll stop there. Should I?
Thank you, please. No, not too much information.
I think Micho knows you personally.
Micho knows quite a lot about me. We met during my campaigns. I met him on my campaign trail, and I liked him. And I enrolled him on my team. So he got quite a wider opportunity to engage with me. You mentioned first class, and somebody said, these things are possible. You can get first class and be a leader, not so? So let's save time. The ones who have heard about me, do not repeat the same things. Don't mind. You can even say something bad. Not everything is supposed to be good.
You know, there is what we call meritocracy. Advises that I begin with those who raised their hands first.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bayo Abdul Wadud, currently guild president at IUIU, that's Kampala campus. So, Honorable Nyamtoro, among the very many things that I've heard about you, one was in 2021 I remember you advocating for the playing of cricket up north. I come from the north, from Arua, so I got to hear that news, but mostly it was for Nebi and Pakwach areas. Then secondly was last month, if I'm not mistaken, where you were strongly opposing the removal of the council, along with others like Honorable Yeru and more. So that's among the many things that I've heard of you. Those were the two outstanding I wish to share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nachuri Hajara. I always add Kasambia because in most cases I find I'm the only one from Kasambia. So everywhere I go I have to put that Kasambia. My very first time to hear about Honorable Nyamutoro, I was deep down there in Kasambia during NRM primaries that you helped Honorable Kabanda to rig the votes. I was hurt because my brother was in the race. Yeah. So that forced me to look for you and be my friend, and all the spaces where I've really been. And another thing, I would like to thank you for responding to my messages. Thank you. Or else, if I was in your position, you people, you could need a passport to reach me. Believe me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let me just say something about that. I have heard that rumor as well. It circulated around the country that I helped Honorable Kabanda rig the votes in primaries. It is true, I was the enumerator of his votes during the primaries. I abandoned my own race to go and help a friend. Now their election was an election I've never seen in this country. Kasambia has 8 sub-counties, and there were 4 hot candidates, no 5. And each candidate won a sub-county. And Kabanda was number 2 in all the other sub-counties. So it took a lot of patience and a lot of teamwork to have all the results coming through. Now, the other candidates were already celebrating that they had won. Even Kabanda had lost hope. He had locked himself in the room saying, I don't think I can win this election. I told him until I get the last results. So when I came and told him, you have won the election, let's go to the tally center. He said, you want to cause problems for me. I said, no, if you don't go, they are going to rig. So when we went to the tally center, I had a lot of confidence because of the results. People said, he has brought a kachuba from Electoral Commission. What is her name? Fiona Nyamtoro. And that is how my name sold during that time. Okay.
Well, it's my singular chance and privilege to address this hall since we came back from the race of the coordinator. I was an aspirant whose victory was at Jan by the names of Abraham Omia, a student at Makerere University. Whereas the previous speakers might have spoken on the point of knowing her personally because they needed a chigati. Mine, okay, based on the rumors that I've heard, my first time of listening about you was that at one point you held the point of the vice guild presidency at the prestigious Makerere University. I'm not certain of whether it's true. And then the other second occasion was that you're one of the greatest advocacy for the youth cause. Those are the things that I've so far had. And I do not hold myself accountable whether they are true or not, because they were rumors.
Both of them are true. I confirm both of them are true.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Wanyuma Franklin, and I don't want to say I'm quite familiar with this place. I'm quite new. I think this is my second time here. And you asked when you said that I want 5 people who know me and 5 who don't know me. And particularly, I want to say I've known you in the last 10 minutes, I think. When I looked at this program, I saw your name, and by the fact that I saw you the country director, I suspected you might be the one. So, I don't want to praise you like these other people have been saying, because I haven't interacted with you much. But I want to say, it is very rare for a leader, you can support me guys, a leader to come on stage and says, I want people who know me and those who don't know me to come up and say something about me. Very, very rare. And I'm very pleased with that. That shows that you're a very good leader. You have branded yourself And that is why these people are talking like that about you. And that is very good. Thank you very much. And to conclude, Mr. MC, there is something I was discussing with my friend here. When they were asking about people who want to talk, you are rushing with people who have opportunities who have talked to the audience, like our coordinators. They have the opportunity. There are other people here who want to talk, but they don't get opportunity. So when they rush to put up their hands, first walk in the audience, then you come back to them later. Thank you. Advice taken. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, how come nobody said that they have had a memutoro by tribe? Eh? You heard that a memutoro? A mutoro from West Nile. You know I'm a Westerner, but you hear I'm from West Nile. So it's confusing, right? Okay, somebody thinks I'm a Mutoro. What if I had an opportunity to tell you guys about myself? I would probably say things that you would all say, she's not being truthful. She's lying. What if I told you guys I'm shy? I would be lying. What if I told you guys that I'm actually a shy person? Surprisingly to me, I used to think I was the only shy person that there was who gets exposed to public audiences very early. But along my leadership journey, I've had the opportunity to mingle with lots of great people, to meet with lots of celebrities that are always in the public eye and they are extremely shy people. Bitter truth. No, you're still not convinced. That should probably just encourage you that even when you do not have the confidence to stand before multitudes of people, it is a process that you can learn. You can master it and become good at it. So good at it that nobody would notice. And that is the beauty of a brand. A brand creates an impression that speaks to your mind. By the time you get to notice what is inside, like my brother said, what is inside the box, it is too late. Not so. How many of us would know what is beautifully packaged in a gift if we have not opened it? And that is the genesis with which I start with you tonight. I am not going into the definitions of personal branding, of what a brand is, of how you get to a particular way. I am going to speak to the realities of everyday mistakes we do that affect us as leaders. My assumption is that each and every one of you that is in this room has either passion for leadership or a future ambition, or you just like being around leadership circles. Not so. So I assume that there is nobody out here whom when we speak about leadership, you find it boring. Now that is the first challenge that you have. Leadership is not just a privilege from God to serve. It is a greater task than you think. When you aspire to be a leader, you aspire to be many things, and the greatness comes at a cost. The cost is that you have to forsake very many things that your age mates would be parading as cool, would be branding as the ideal in thing at the time for your personal brand as a leader. Each of you probably has 1 or 2, 3 leaders that they look at as role models. People that you admire from a distance, people that you wish you would want to interact with. And because of the brands that they have created, you just find them simply admirable. Even when you don't know anything about them. Some of you can stand and describe somebody that you have never met. I always find that very fascinating about people. You find somebody is describing Nyamtoro, talking about Nyamtoro, but they have actually never met her. They see her on social media, they see her at events, they see her in parliament, they see her there. I shouldn't have used Nyamtoro, I should have used another probably famous name. Peterson? No, not Peterson. When you hear people talk about, Semu Junganda, by the way. Semu Junganda is a very shy man. He's my personal friend. And when I tell that to people, they be like, what are you saying? Semu Junganda is a very shy man. You met him one-on-one, you would not believe that it is the Semu Junganda you know. Because from the brand that he has outside there, he's very aggressive. He's very outspoken and everything. But when you meet him one-on-one, you'll meet a very soft-spoken, humble, shy gentleman. But the brand speaks more than the person. And that is where it begins from. Being authentic, being yourself. One of the greatest challenges we've always had with branding in leadership is that from the admiration of those that have succeeded, the ones who are ahead of us, we usually forget that you have to be yourself in your own branding. And that has resulted into very many sycophants. There's a saying that says the great are always surrounded by sycophants, but it doesn't mean that you as a leader, you have to become a sycophant of anybody. You've seen people, usually it might not be a very noticeable tendency, but you've seen people who, for example, want to speak like President Museveni. You've seen people who emulate a certain leader and they want to dress like them, they want to look like them, they want to quote them, they want to do everything like them. And for me, I think that is the worst thing that can ever happen to a young person of our generation. Because it simply means you do not have a vision for yourself. What are you doing in leadership if even just creating a brand that people can want to associate with, you cannot? There are very many factors that attribute to the brands that we create. Some of them we pay attention to, most of them we don't. And the first factor is dress code. When you wake up, pray to God, make up your mind, and say that leadership is the journey I want to take, please make sure dress code is taken more seriously. The abilities that first impression creates are more long-lasting than any sensible thing you would want to say on 100 podiums. It is the public that you're dealing with. You're dealing with strangers, with people who do not know you, with people who know you, with people who have shared parts of their lives with you, with people who are meeting you for the very first time. It is very important that your outlook speaks for yourself before you get to open your mouth. Just by first sight, someone is already biased on whether they should pay attention to you or not. Just by mere looking at you, just as you knock at the office door and somebody is seated, you open the door and walk in like this, somebody is already biased on whether you have something serious to say or not. Save yourself the struggle of, oh, I didn't imagine they would actually have anything sensible. I didn't imagine they actually are intelligent. I didn't imagine you were actually reasonable. Save yourself that strain. And it is very easy to achieve. Now, the greatest challenge that we have is that we are the .com generation, right? We are growing time and again with new coming trends. You want to try this, you want to try that, you want to dress a certain kind of way. Please, I am here to plead with you. When it comes to leadership, There are certain trends that are going to pass you. Painfully, let them pass you. For the sake of your brand. You might have the opportunity to utilize them during your personal private time, where we, the ones you are vying to, do not get to see you. That's fine. But please, when you're stepping out in public, when you know that the society you are going to move in is your potential constituency, is a society where you want to create a difference tomorrow, you are not going to wear a crop top. It is very fashionable. I see girls in crop tops and they look so nice, don't they? They do. But I mean, imagine if I came to address you in a crop top. Would you even be paying attention? The guys probably would be looking at my waist saying, Honorable Kozatia. The ladies would be saying, okay. There are some people who don't really mind, who are very liberal, who would be like, okay, she's smart. I mean, she's young, she's youthful. But no, it is not acceptable. Imagine I came to address you and I am wearing, what do they call them? Damaged jeans. I do wear damaged jeans, by the way, but I'm sure none of you has ever seen me in them. Now, because we are young people, it is always very hard to speak about this particular area. Because each of us has a different taste of fashion. You see, when you see Rihanna dressed like this, you want to try it out. When you see this trending on Snapchat, you want to try it out. I mean, it is of your age bracket, yes. But let it pass. Let it pass, because that particular dress code that you are choosing right now is going to affect you in the future. I want to give you guys an example of, there is this woman, I keep forgetting her name. I don't know why her name doesn't stick in my mind, but she was a runner in the previous election. She was running for Masaka woman MP. I don't remember her name. Very pretty woman like this. Prima Cizano has a good memory and he has stepped out. You know that lady? The one who was running for Masaka? Her pictures were all over social media. She was Miss Uganda at some point. You know her? She was called Nasa something. Primas, you know that lady who was running for Masaka woman MP and she was Miss Uganda? I've forgotten her name. Anyway, she's there. Even when you go on Google right now, she'll come up. So this lady picked interest, I think, in leadership along the way. She vied for this position. She was the greatest contender at that time because, I mean, she had it all. She was intelligent, she was audible, she was interactive with the community, she was lovable. She was also very good looking. And I think her campaign had hyped up. Everyone was buying into her candidature. And then one day she just wakes up, because she had contested for Miss Uganda someday. She just wakes up and her pictures, you know, Miss Uganda, there's always that session where you have to take pictures in a bikini. She wakes up and her pictures of the bikini are all over the country on social media, and she was the front page of all newspapers. Which was, I mean, we are not speaking against Miss Uganda. It's also a platform that is empowering young ladies in a different way. But that's just that picture made women say, oh, no tetugenda musobola. And the men now forgot about her candidature and they were discussing and saying, now this one, about this one, how do we do? Then before you know it, radio stations, bloggers were discussing, oh, you see her shape is like this, or you see she's like this, or you see she's like that. And she had lost it all. It was so bad that it became so difficult for her to address even the remaining rallies that she had. That is how bad it is. Dress code is so powerful that it can emulate or defect your confidence, depending on how you're dressed. Because you're going to walk into a room And people are going to look at you and start murmuring. They will. Before you know it, you're disorganized mentally. You don't know what to do next because you get to notice that there is something that is not right with you, but you don't know what. You are uncomfortable in the vicinity all of a sudden because of the way you are dressed. Dress code gets to differentiate how seriously you take things. The gentlemen, you have been invited for a serious meeting and then you come in open shoes, then you come in slippers, then you come wearing shorts. I mean, you can do that during the weekend. You can do that in your casual time. But you have been invited for a high-level formal meeting with diplomats. And then you come wearing sandals. Young people do these mistakes all the time. All the time. Dress code can make you have a misinterpretation as an individual. And I keep saying this, for those of us who have political affiliations, all of us do, right? Some of us subscribe to certain political parties. I subscribe to the NRM. And then we are going for the NRM delegates conference in Nambole, and then I wear red. Then I wear a red dress. And then you have converged yourselves as NRM leaders. You're saying you are the NRM Youth League. You're going to have a press conference to address the nation. And then this one is wearing blue, the other one is wearing yellow, this one is wearing red. You are showing that NRM is a mass party. Ideally, that is what you're doing. The only reason as to why political parties have colors is branding, right? The idea is that during the political times of mobilization, you are able to sell your color that it is the best. People are supposed to view you all in red and be like, this color is powerful. So when it is time for politics, when it is time for serious engagement, please make sure that you are politically sensitive. If you belong to FDC and you are the leader of the FDC Youth League, you are addressing the press conference, you know that this message is going out to the country. The chairperson of the FDC Youth League has this to say, and then you're wearing a yellow t-shirt. Small mistakes that people don't pay attention to. And unfortunately for us, people, the leaders in high-level places are also doing these mistakes. Just about 2 months ago, I was looking at a leader, one of the NRM leaders, addressing a press conference at NRM offices about the president's state of health. At that time when he was sick, and she was wearing blue all over. Like as if you can't wait for any other day to rock your blue. Because you see, for people who take things seriously, we begin to question your loyalty. We begin to question whether you understand the position that you're in and the messaging that you have to reflect to the public. We begin to question whether your conceptualization of things is up to task. And that situation you want to avoid as a young person, because you already have a lot to deal with as young people. You already have the bias that you're not good enough. You already have the bias that you're too young. There is not much you can offer. So avoid mistakes that you can run away from. Give people any other task. Let them question whether you can deliver, but let them not be like, those young people, those youth, you see, they came, they dressed like this. The ladies, for those of us, whom God blessed with the right figures, they call them the right figures. All of a sudden, for you, you want your bum to be your brand. That banange, whenever they talk about a bum, just mention Fiona. It's called a nyash. You see, I'm now growing old. All of a sudden, for you, you look at your body and you choose one body part and say, that one should be your brand. And before you know it, you are indulging into greater challenges that you cannot avoid and deal with as a person at an individual level. You will seek for help. You will look for where to turn. And there will be nobody to tell you the right answers. People will look at you and laugh. If you have people who are honest enough, they will call you on the side and say, oh, this is it. Our colleagues, the Muslims, are blessed that the Muslim wear makes it easy for them. It is acceptable anywhere, anyhow. I mean, a Muslim could dress in their Muslim wear and go for a high-level meeting and go for a cultural function and go for a political function. Anywhere they would pass. For us, the Christians. But now me, Fiona, I'm going to join the Muslims for Eid in Nebi. They are saying Honorable Fiona Nyamtoro is coming to join us in Nebi, and then I go wearing skinny jeans and a t-shirt. Does that make sense to you? But why do young people make these mistakes? You make these mistakes. You know it very well. Those are some of the things that I want to call upon us to be able to be very sensitive on. The reason as to why I've spent a lot of time on dress code is very intentional, because I know dress code can destroy every other thing that you have to offer. However intelligent you are, however good of a proposal you have to put on table, if you walk into a room of people and you look ramshackled, you are not going to have their maximum attention. You will not. It will be on a second thought where somebody will be like, okay, maybe they are speaking some sense. Maybe. I have seen young people struggle with that all the time. All the time. When you get to parliament in the future, there is parliamentary dress code that is properly described in the rules of procedure. Even up to today, members of parliament, you see women members of parliament disgracing themselves because of dress code. And you see people will not hesitate. Someone will just stand on the floor and say, order, is the honorable colleague in order to come dressed like this? Or if they don't do it publicly, just recently, about 2 weeks ago, a woman member of parliament stood up and the speaker granted her audience. And unfortunately for her, she had to come to the central podium. Now, I don't know what had gotten into her mind that day. That is why everybody should have a dressing mirror. Please look at yourself before you step out. She was wearing a trouser like mine, but it was transparent. The whole trouser was transparent. We could see that she had a pink knicker. And then the top was not covering. So when she stepped on the podium, everyone starts murmuring. The men, Now the speaker from her side, remember, she could not see what the others are seeing. The speaker is like, can I call the house to order? But she noticed that there was something wrong with her. I don't think she even presented well. When she was coming back to sit, everyone is like, hey. Before you know it, your day is ruined. As simple as that. So I want to appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the way you dress is the number one attribute to your brand as a leader. It does not matter whether you're going to be like President Museveni, whom people say wears one shirt, others say he wears the same design, but at least you will not find his dress code appalling, will you? Make sure that as a leader, whenever you get an opportunity to interact with other people in society, your dress code does not betray you. Let it speak for yourself. If you want to appear to be an intelligent, if you want to appear to be a responsible, if you want to appear to be a trustworthy, organized person, dress like it. As simple as that. Dress like it. Do not let people wait for you to prove yourself beyond doubt. That, okay, you see that person, they dress like this, but munange, they are nice. Not in leadership. Leave that for musicians. Leave that for other professions. You know, other professions can get away with anything. Yes? You will find a musician who goes on stage, she's a woman, she wears skimpy things and everything, but in person she's actually different. For you, you don't have the opportunity for that defense. Because your audience, for them, who is going to wear a patra on stage, it appeals to the audience when they are performing. For you, your audience is about vision. Your audience is about what can you offer. Your audience is about the problems in society. Your audience is not how brown your thighs are. It will never be. And you do not want to be misconstrued at that point at all. When you're done working on your dress code, then find a niche. Finding a niche is, last time I was speaking to women in Entebbe, and Honorable Alaso was terming it as software branding. Finding a niche, what are your values? First of all, do you even have values to start with? What do you believe in? Or you just get swayed with the waves? When you want today, when this is trending, I believe in that. Tomorrow when the other one is trending, I believe in the other. Start it as soon as yesterday. Find something that you are passionate about and galvanize yourself at mastering the art of that particular thing. Let it be known that when you are talking about taxation, we call primus. Everyone would want to hear your say about that. Let it be known that Felista is passionate about agriculture. Let it be known that Fiona is passionate about the girl child. It might look prominent to you that you want to speak about every topic, but you can never exhaust them all. Instead of you sounding stupid in public, you'd rather capitalize on one particular niche, whereby whenever you stand up to speak, you earn the respect of everyone that is listening. It is okay to have comments here and there. As a leader, you will never dodge the diverse events of issues, because they'll come and ask you, oh, what do you think about this? Give a slight comment. But when we are discussing issues, please, what is that one issue that drove you to leadership? What is that one challenge in society that when you stood up and looked at it, you went and thought about it on your bed and said, because of that challenge, I think I can become a leader and create a difference? That should be your niche. A niche is so powerful that when you vie for elective politics, it does not just inform your passion, but it creates your manifesto. And when you create a manifesto from a niche, you sound authentic, you sound real. Then people start to see vision in you. Then people get to buy into your agenda. Than going and copying and pasting something from 1980, you say the 10-point program, this is what we are going to work on, because you have read it somewhere. Than going online and finding something, oh, this is what they are doing in South Africa. I think I can translate it and have it replicated in Uganda, even when you know that the circumstances might not favor. The people in the societies that we live with are actually very sensitive, more sensitive than we think they are. They pay attention even when you think they are not. They will be able to differentiate, educated or not educated. They will know. They will listen to you and they will know, okay, this is a different breed of leadership. Even when circumstances might not favor you at that particular time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will have to be the one winning. Please make sure your brand sticks that you offered something different. Let it be outstanding that everyone cannot deny that there's something about this lady that they find it difficult to describe. They'll be like, but there's something about that lady that we cannot explain. There's something about that gentleman. When he speaks, we cannot understand. That is the one thing that President Museveni has used over all his opponents, the years. Everyone listens to him speaking over time, and then they pick out one or two, three things and say, now Museveni said this, he cannot do this, he can. No one, bear me witness, no one has come out with an alternative, authentic way of doing things. Yes? Personally, I don't find any because I get to listen to them. No, by the way, I was talking about the ones who vied with him in the previous election. Now that you've mentioned Muntu, allow me give him his flowers. Muntu had his own vision for Uganda, and it is true. When you listen to him, you listen to something different. That is true. That is true. Even when you don't support him, I don't support him, but I acknowledge on a daily that he's what? He's different. He is different. So please, make sure that you take out the time to research and ensure that your niche is identifiable. Let us know you by what you believe in, by what you stand for, but by what you envision, by what you want to achieve. It will even make social networking easy for you. Because you see, when you have opportunities like this, people like Primus, people like leaders that you get to interact with, not even just necessarily me, we get to identify people. This is something that they don't tell you. When people come here and talk, when you're having your classes, and this is how some of us were identified. When I was in the National Youth Council, someone would just come up and say, but who is that lady? She seems passionate about the girl child. That is how forward they identified me. You're passionate about this. Okay, come and join us for this workshop. Come and join us for this training. Come and join us for this. Before you know it, you're polishing yourself. You might not even notice how much better you are getting, but the people that you interact with will. For you, by the time you notice that you have gotten into a better person, you have gone far, very far. So please take these things very seriously. Do not be the kind of leader who thinks because you can speak some English, you should always raise your hand and have something to say. No, you don't have to speak all the time. Especially when you're not sure about what you want to say. I always tell my friends that make sure when you get the microphone, at least if we don't clap, we are left reflecting on what you have said. That's the only time it makes sense. If it doesn't, then your participation was as good as not participating at all. The other thing that I thought I should emphasize on personal branding is social media. How many of us use social media to communicate? not to communicate at a personal level, but to communicate to the public. I have a problem with the social media use of youth, because you see there's a lot of trends on social media that it gets to eat up young people who are in leadership, and they forget. Social media is a very good platform when productively used. It can make you, it can destroy you, depending on how much power you give it. Now, as a leader on social media, you do not just want to be, there's no way you are going to brand yourself as, first of all, an elder person that you are not. Sometimes we take things too serious. You notice? Because for you every day, all you do is wake up and post a quote from Martin Luther King. And then now you think you are communicating. Every day you wake up and say, now I am reading this book, I'm doing that. But that is not going to be appealing to the young people. And yet that is the audience that you are targeting, not so. So how engaging do you make your social media? How do you brand yourself on social media? Because as a young person in this generation, you want your social media to be attractive. So are you attracting people the right way without losing the intent of your message? Somebody will wake up and say, oh, for us on my social media, I am only talking about the gospel. Every day you post a Bible verse. Every day we shall read them for 3 days. Then after we start scrolling, we say, onona any Bible verse is it? That's what happens. If you are at an activity today, post it, post the content, post a fun picture, and put the content in there. That, oh, we did this, we were at the Netherlands Institute of Democracy, we talked about this. But because the picture looks fun, somebody will be forced to know, oh, what were these people doing? Post a picture. Just step out on a weekend, dress nice and post a picture. And post a message and say, happy weekend at the end. They will read the message. They will read the message. It will communicate more than someone who will just come and type a long paragraph of what they wanted to say. That is what, it doesn't even just work for the young people only, even the elderly. I keep struggling with members of parliament because the elders, they keep telling us, but you people, you need to help, you the young MPs, you need to help us with our social medias and what. But when you tell them, okay, Honorable, can we have a nice picture of you? They'll be like, ate how? Ate for what? Ate where are we going to take the picture? Even just standing to pose for a nice picture with a smile, somebody finds it a problem. Now, for you who wants to become MP in your constituency, the gentleman, every day you want to just put on a suit, take a picture and say, honorable to be. Yes. So people will look at the pictures. For the first times you post, people will look at the pictures and be like, before you know it, they're like, this guy is always in a suit. Today, post a picture of an activity you have in your constituency. Post a picture when you're doing something different, but always attach a message to the picture. Always. As simple as that. Tomorrow, post something that does not even have you in it, but pass on the message. As simple as that. And then, of course, we have already talked about the other pictures that you can't do. We all know we are young people. I mean, we have lives to live, right? We have private lives. And then for you, you want to post videos. You are taking shisha with your friends in the night and saying, it's going down tonight. It's going down. Huh? You are posting videos when you are twerking in a nightclub. and you are saying today Saturday was lit. That is the language they use. They'll be like, where are you at? Muli wa to going ewa. Please, I mean, you would still go to your club, post a fun picture if you're with your friends, but make it responsible because you are a what? Because you are a leader. Even when you like shisha, I am not encouraging you to do so. I don't take alcohol or do drugs myself. Even when you know that you love alcohol, we don't want to see a video of you when you are the one they are carrying from the club who is too drunk. You are our leader, aren't you? Yeah. So make sure the content that goes out there speaks of you where you are not. Let people get to understand that, oh, our MP has a social side of life. They can interact with us, because you're not going to run away from these things in community. You're going to go to community events, to parties, and people want to dance with you. And then you are at a community event, and then you are the one who is twerking. Because you're very good at it, your friends say, when this girl steps on the dance floor, everyone sits down. So now you want to sell it to the community that this is my skill. It will destroy you. So I want to emphasize again on that please make sure your social media is not just relatable, but your social media is your brand as well, as a young leader, because we are going to keep track of it. Now we shall look at the things that you're posting now 5 years from today. We shall look at the things you're posting now when you are minister tomorrow, when you are prime minister tomorrow. We shall keep reflecting them. For us, not us. Okay, by us I mean the people who will be there. Someone will just be there and then they'll be like, this one in 2016 when they were at campus. Then before you know it, you are trending, honorable MP. And that biases people about you. They will not look at the current state that you are in today, but that alone will relate them into a very different perspective about you, which you don't want to deal with. Now, this is not to say that you might not face challenges of misconceptions. You might also not face challenges of, you might also not avoid facing challenges of the brand being misconstrued sometimes. But when you have consistency in branding, then your brand speaks for itself. I can testify to you that I do have a number of people I have met in person and I have gotten disappointed. But the brands that speak about them out there, you can never explain to anyone that this person is actually not what you think they are. They will trash you down. They'll be like, what are you saying? You are a jealous person. Actually, you are not a good person. How can you say that about so and so? That is the beauty about branding. When you dwell and be intentional about it, a brand becomes so strong. It becomes more powerful than you, the person. Let your brand fight for you where you are not there to put up a defense. And it is very possible. Sometimes someone will even see you, like I was giving examples of the nightclub. Someone will even see you in a kafunda somewhere, but they don't have evidence. Not so. And maybe you're doing something very stupid. And then they come and say, do you know we saw Primus doing this and then you'll be like, now that can't be Primus. It cannot be Primus. You probably saw a look-alike. And yet Primus is very guilty. That's what branding does. To be honest, that is what branding does. Now lastly, as I wind up, I'm going to bundle these up all together so that we do not get to get lost along the way in identification of our brands. Personal character. The reason as to why I decided to bring personal character at the end is because I understand that individually we all have our characters. Each of us is different. We have different social backgrounds, different religions, different likes, different dislikes, different weaknesses, different strengths. Your character will never be the same as the person. My insistency is, do not let your character affect your brand. Please hide your character behind your brand. Brand first, character next. Because I do not have the medicine that I'm going to recommend to you to say that if you have a bad character, you are going to change it for the sake of a good brand. There are characters that are learned and unlearned. That's true. It is true that you can change drastically, gradually, into a better person. Yes? But there are weaknesses that people cannot just deal away with. And that is very powerful. So make sure that as you identify yourself, you understand yourself more than anyone. Let your weaknesses, let your personal character not affect your brand in any way. For us, we are not interested in knowing what your character is, how bad or how good you are. For us, we are attracted by your brand. Your brand covers up everything. I was hearing people here saying that, oh, Nyamdoro is very patient. I'm actually a very impatient person. That is the truth. I'm very impatient. When you get to that level of conceptualization, when you get to distinct your personal character from the brand that you want to create, then you have scored as a leader. Then you have all of us hands down. Because when we dig so much into who you are as a person, I'm telling you, some of you might never have a platform to interact again. Because of character. That is how bad character gets. Now, character, along the way, informs the way we socialize. And that depicts our etiquette in public. Etiquette is very, very, very minor to character, because etiquette are just social behaviors that we learn. How do you behave when you're in public? Do you greet people? How do you eat? How do you walk? How do you sit? That is just etiquette, right? Because I can find you seated in a very bad manner, and then I'd be like, oh, please, can you sit well? You could just be in a bad mood that day and you don't greet someone, but the next day you do. You could be someone who doesn't know how to use a fork and a knife, and you learn. You could be someone who might not know that in this particular environment, this behavior is not allowed. And then when you are told, you avoid it. As simple as that. Etiquette. But the most powerful thing about etiquette is you being able to adapt. Understand that this environment I am in, these people I have gone to, this constituency, the culture is kneeling. Please kneel. Don't come and say, oh, me, I'm an empowered woman, I'm an activist. Here, I will note, how can they how can they devalue women to this extent? The culture has been there over time. If you want them to listen to you, even when you want to sell to them to stop kneeling, first start by kneeling, and then after you say, but now we have over-knelt, can we please stand? They will stand. Or they will allow you gracefully to do what? To stand. It is very, very important that your etiquette is relatable. Make it easy for people to interact with you. Now that is not character, it is just etiquette. Make it easy for someone to find you somebody they can talk to. Because, I mean, it is not rocket science that when you are in public, you're meeting strangers, you're meeting people, someone says hello, you smile, right? Yes. Language during etiquette. Some of you meet seniors. You meet the Speaker of Parliament, then you're like, how are you, madam? How are you? You meet above you in seniority. Then how are you, Honorable Minister? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, Honorable? You can say that to Nyamtoro, definitely. You cannot say that to a senior because of etiquette, right? As simple as that. As I wind up my session, this is to your personal selves. The most disgusting thing about interacting with someone when it comes to personal branding, whether they are good or not, is hygiene. Hygiene, young people. Hygiene, the men. Even the ladies, not only the men. Hygiene. What makes you come in a public conference, in a workshop, you're wearing a armless over dress, over shirt, over top. You have unshaved hair for how long, and you're putting up your arm left, right, and center. You probably forgot to wear a deodorant, and then you're spoiling our day, all of us who are around you. Yeah? The gentlemen, I understand that being young comes with financial difficulties. We know that the suits you have in your wardrobe are not so many. Yes? At least have them clean always. Okay? I look at the collar of your shirt, and then I just know that it has taken 2 weeks without being washed. The ladies, we usually apply some makeup to look appealing and what. And then for you, you just, because of poor hygiene, instead of the makeup making you look good, it makes you look scary. Somebody is interacting with you, then all of a sudden they look at your fingernails, and then they notice they are very dirty. You can't even have them clean. Somebody is talking to you, and then you have this very bad odor, you have a bad breath, and they can't even sustain the conversation for the length that it was supposed to take place. Somebody will be like, oh, okay, yes, see you next time. Please call me. Because they are running away from you. Personal hygiene has nothing to do with how much money you have. It is just being intentional. Be clean. Let someone find it easy to sit next to you. Let someone find it easy to hug you. Let someone find it easy to shake your hand. Let someone find it easy to share a plate of food with you. That is how your interactions will become stronger. We have a member of parliament. Thank God I don't get to mention names here. A doctor, a PhD holder, who is branded by bad hygiene. Very, 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 very intelligent woman. Very knowledgeable. But the woman, when she's coming to parliament, when she comes to sit next to you, everyone walks away. Near her, there are always 2 free seats. 2 free seats near her. Everyone just wants to run away. Now, I keep wondering, I keep saying, with all the knowledge and experience that this woman has to offer, we don't get the opportunity to tap into her wisdom. Because you cannot sustain sitting next to her for 30 minutes. then how much are you going to learn? And you see, she's a senior, she's a doctor. None of us has the confidence to go and tell her, Madam, it is this bad. Everyone is just murmuring in Parliament, dying in the corridors, but it is not a secret at Parliament. Everybody knows. Brandy. So ladies and gentlemen, as you reflect on all those few tips that I have given you, I'm sure even during your leadership course, you will get exposed to more. As you read, you will also get to learn many more things. It is very important that as a leader, you distinguish yourself from the rest. Always. Always stand out. Always be that leader that is not just the pride of society, but even you should be able to look at yourself, look at the work you're doing, look at where you have come from. Just stand and look at yourself and say, yes, I am proud of the leader that I am. When your brand gets to speak for you in rooms where you are not, then you know you're on the right course, okay? Always take out time and get to know what do others say where I am not. It does not mean that you be fake and become a people pleaser, no. Be yourself, but ensure that you do not lose track of your branding, no matter the circumstances. Do not lose it for excitement. Do not lose it for power. Do not lose it for money. Do not lose it for anything. I'm certain that many great leaders will come out of this room, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause. It's going down tonight, right? It's going lit. Thank you so much, Honorable Fiona Nyamtoro, for that powerful presentation. For my lessons, etiquette, some of you will be invited for cocktails. Not this, red wine, red meat, white wine, white meat. Did you know that? Grab for me. Dressing style. There's a friend of mine, Maxon, stand up. Just allow me stand up. I love Maxon. He loves those Kaunda suits. And you can sit now, but I really love how he chose his style of Kaunda suits. Every time I look at him, I'm like, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy who reminds us of those, powerful men who took Africa, who actually captured Africa and, did wonderful work. Thank you, sir. I hope you'll one day do that work here in Uganda. Yes, those were my lessons. I hope you have also picked yours. Then when they talked of hygiene, I heard some voices about Kubienyo, but that's a fact. That's a fact. There are some, cheap perfumes. Don't tell us that you don't have money. There are some, like 3,000. They normally, you know things better than me, so always look out for them and, smell nice in public. Yeah, I think there is only one person who requested me to say something, but I will allow two. Then we wind up this session, and I call the country director to come and close this particular session. The first person is also a big boss whom I would want to give the mic to say something, and she prefers to speak from her desk. Barbara requested me to say something, so I can really.
Hello, everyone. I had told Rukundo that I wanted to speak while Honorable Nyamtoro was speaking, because I hoped that she would not skip that part of personal hygiene. And while we went on and on, she spoke about it. Guys, if you want to know something that is really, that turns off people, it's personal hygiene. Like Rukundo mentioned, they're very, very cheap perfume. They don't really have to be expensive. A deodorant is 10,000. I am very sure we can afford that. Have you ever sat next to someone and your mood changes immediately? You're in a happy mood, you sit next to someone and you're trying to figure out how to move from that space. Men, ashiness is not nice. Yes. You know, men believe they shouldn't put Vaseline on themselves. I do not know why. It is just not a nice thing. You are leaders. You are leaders that we would want to associate with. Someone to say that, oh, that person is my member of parliament. Like, that sounds really nice if you're taking good care of yourself. It's very okay to put lotion on yourself, men. Please, it is not feminine. You know, some men think, oh, it's girls who should be wearing, putting Vaseline on themselves. Another thing that I have noticed, you've seen people, who knows, we used to call it chikati, that thing where you eat, for example, beans and then looking to me and it's just funny looking at you because you have stuff in your teeth. After having a meal and you think you have that food left in your teeth, excuse yourself, go to the washrooms and pick your teeth because it's not a good look. For the ladies, makeup, let you not be seen wearing makeup in public. You are called to speak and then you quickly get a powder or something and you're trying to tap your face. It's not classy, it's not nice to look at. So I am so grateful that you spoke about it. Thank you so much. I have heard, you know, you go for a meeting and people are like, oh my God, did you smell that stench? Not very nice. You are looking good, smell good, present yourself. We will want to associate, any person would want to associate with a person who takes good care of themselves. And it doesn't have to be very expensive. You can look smart in your very nice outfits that are not very expensive. Yeah, that is what I really wanted to say. Thank you so much.
I think now you know why most people want to associate with me. So I'm going to give an opportunity to, we are running out of time. I must repeat this. So I am only going to give an opportunity to two people to speak. Then we invite the country director to close this event. One is here. Another one I'm still contemplating.
Okay, good evening, members. I would like to appreciate Honorable Nyamtoro for that presentation. I'm having one question and one live example for your good friend. I'm happy that I found you. I've never get time to meet him, Honorable Kabanda, when it comes to brand. First, my question is, how can we balance authenticity with the need to create a personal brand that aligns with our goals and aspirations? Yeah, so my live example is, for example, when it comes to social media, I've been sometimes engaging him, and I found him somehow provocative and insulting, and I don't know whether that's how he brands himself, and I'm happy that I found you, and you've clearly told us that he is a good friend of yours. Please let this message go to him, because he is, he would have been here with us, because the youth like us would have want also to hear from him. But most of the times I normally engage him on Twitter. But by the time I write content, but he normally writes 5 to 4 words, but quite insulting. The last time it was last week, and yesterday he also insulted me. I have all the evidence here on my tweets.
And,
don't present everything.
I won't present them, but I think the way he is branding himself, he's not a good role model to us. He's one of the youthful MP we have. I think let that message also reach him.
Okay, thank you so much. You see, when I'm selecting questions and I pick a gentleman, it's automatic that next person is. So we are a gentleman, eh? Hey.
Oh, wow. It's such an opportunity and a great pleasure to say something in this room. A good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Namirembe Blesius. I would like to take my sincere heart full of gratitude to Honorable. It's a pleasure meeting you. You were asking us what we know about you, where did we meet you? Me, I've never met you, but you're one of the people. When I was running for guild presidency at Makerere University, they could recommend me to look at you, to look at how you put on, to listen at your speech as a young leader, so they could tell me to look up to you. And surely, from what I've heard, though I've never met you and I'm looking forward to meet you in person, you're really such a great leader. And one of my questions to you is that you're talking about personal branding and how we should brand ourselves. But how best should we balance not to miss the real we? You know, there is that real Blesius. There is that real Tracy. That if I can't meet, not this person I'm looking at on social media, but the real her. Not to miss the real you. How can we balance the two? So that people should not look at me as this serious girl, ever in meetings, that I can also be in the real life. I think you're getting me. Surely I would like to take this great opportunity and thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
I am interested in knowing the real her. I think you will allow me that we really end it here. We allow the honorable member to respond to a few questions that have been asked. Then we invite the country director to close, because if we keep it rolling, it will roll forever. It will go down tonight, right? So let me allow Honorable Nyamtoro to respond to some of those two questions. Then we go to the end of this session.
I can answer from here, right? Yeah. Now, luckily for me, the two questions are relatable, because the gentleman was saying, how do you balance authenticity and not losing yourself, right? And the lady is also concerned about how do you not lose the real you in your branding. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not misperceive my message at any point. I never at any point mentioned that you should be a particular way. Did I? Be yourselves. And I am glad that the gentleman mentioned Honorable Kavanda. Unfortunately, I would tell you that the Kavanda you interface with on social media, that is the real Kavanda. Even when you meet him in person, it is the same Kavanda. You will not meet anything different. Now that is him, but like I said earlier, that is him maybe letting a character trait dig into his what? His brand. You get? It should be upon you to be able to differentiate that. That, oh, I am an easily irritable person. When people get to my nerves, I become abusive. How do I control that? I gave you an example of myself. I said I am an impatient person. Very impatient. But because I know that I have a role and responsibility to play, I have to be patient. And it doesn't cost me at all. So please be real. Do not try to make a perfect image that there is not. Nobody is perfect. Be yourself, because when you be yourself, you will get to enjoy what you do as well. And to me, I think that is very important. I see very many people losing themselves in politics, and it is not a good scene to look at. Because all you will have to do is put up fake smiles and fake character when you're in people, and fake everything, and people will notice that you are fake. Before you know it, they'll start saying, but that person is fake. But that person is fake. That one is reading into this one script. That one is this. They will notice. So please, just stick to being yourself. And being yourself just requires consistency. Be comfortable in who you are. But always just keep a watch. When you see there is a trait that is becoming disturbing, then work on that. Have the ability, have the self-consciousness to say, okay, I think this is too much. Maybe it doesn't go right with many people. Maybe this is insulting to many. I could work on that. And those are things that we learn along the way. My encouragement is just be consistent and be real. I hate fake people. I get irritated a lot. And you see, when it comes to politics, it's very easy to detect fakeness. Even by when just someone is holding a microphone, you'll be like, now this one rehearsed the speech. And before you know it, I'm turned off. I'll be like, I didn't want to listen to a rehearsed speech. I wanted to listen to you. To what do you think? I wanted to listen to your mind. What do you make of this? And people are always, and that's what people are always eager for. That is the reason as why there is always debate in politics. People want to know what is your mind on this. Then for you, you'll come and say, there is nothing that can beat an idea which has come, whose time has come. You'll be like, okay, it is okay to put in a quote. It is an art of speech to make reference to quotes and here, but then, okay, yes, the time has come. What is your idea? It is not just you telling us that you can do this, but what is your idea? We now want to listen to it. And once you master that, then trust me, you will win hearts of people everywhere you go.
Thank you so much, Honorable Fiona Nyamtoro, for responding to those questions. And it's just 1 minute past 8. I am late for 1 minute, but I will request that you allow me to be late for more minutes, because the person I'm going to invite has no question about whether he should speak or not. So let me take the honor to invite the country director for Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy to step forward and give his closing remarks. I welcome you, Mr. Primus Bahiji.
Do you want to begin by giving a hand clap to Rukundo? It's not generous. Can we give him a generous hand clap? Again, it's not generous. I am not quoting, but I want to quote. They say, clap for someone as you'd want to be clapped for. So imagine they are requesting that they clap for you. How do you want to be clapped for? A good turn deserves. So ladies and gentlemen, I request that we give a thunderous hand clap to Rukundo Paul for the wonderful work that he has done. Thank you very much, Paul, for always availing yourself and being here to manage the program and managing the time very well. I also want to request, ladies and gentlemen, for the beautiful words, for the wonderful person that she is, and for choosing, amidst all the other programs, to be here with us this evening and share important testimonies and words that she has lived and she is with us. we return by giving her a generous, thunderous, mighty hand clap to Honorable Nyamtoro. I have not seen clap until I see everyone clapping. Some people are seated. Please try and clap so that she feels it. That's the best we can do for you, Honorable, and we cannot thank you enough. 30 minutes of wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, are better than 30 years of hard work. Believe it or not. It's dangerous to choose a path and you walk it for 30 years instead of going to Ntinda. You've been walking to Wandegea. Imagine what happens. But just one word would turn your life around. The only thing that made Nelson Mandela what he was a sermon in church. Just a sermon. And from there on, he discovered his mission and lived it. So do not take lessons, lectures, speeches for granted. You do not know where your message is going to come from and where that message will take you. Thank you very much once again, Honorable, and thank you for being a young people's leader. Thank you for being an example, and thank you for taking us through personal branding, an important lesson. I just wanted to echo a few things. One is that moving forward, for the people who will be coming to give speeches in the next sessions, we request, and my team is going to work on that, to prepare a written presentation, because we get to miss a lot. Prepare it in 2-3 minutes, submit it, so that at the end of this fellowship, some of those can be written in your diaries and say, you know, he spoke about community engagement, he spoke about personal branding, the other time we were speaking about security, but when we speak them like this, we may not have them. So I want to continue improving on how we communicate. I want to thank Faraja Africa Foundation, who are streaming us live on the YouTube channel. So for the following fellowships will be live, meaning that we can have this information referred to. In case you want to listen to what Honorable said again, you have it recorded on the YouTube channel. You can go back and refer to it. Thank you very much for your dedication and for ensuring that we have this recorded. I want to say something that Honorable said about, I'm sure that in this fellowship, some people have benefited or taken a notch higher. Like some people have been spotted, not by accident. So it's important that we take these spaces seriously, honestly. You may not be spotted. I can say for the last 10 years, I've been the young people's spaces. The people who make it to leadership are people who have been in these spaces and have taken them seriously. Okay? Lastly, for the men, it's sweet to look good and smell good. You look attractive. Okay? The vibes that you are looking for, simply look good, simply smell good, you'll be attractive. You know, a shaver does not cost a lot. You know, have your armpits taken care of. Be a friend of water, shower. Wash your socks. Do not just throw in your shoes. Are we together? I honestly find it that I feel something is not right. You walk into campus today, you find that 80% of the young boys are not smart. They are putting on pants. They are putting on open shoes. Those days when we were in school at campus, we would put on ties. You'd get in class and you feel, yeah. But I don't know what is happening. So I'm happy, Honorable, that you spoke about that. As leaders, we must be examples. I don't want to waste a lot of our time. Just to re-echo that see you next time, next month, same time. And let me thank the mobilizers, Mercy, and Sandra for the amazing work that you're doing. Continue steering this forward. together we can make a contribution and make this country a better one. You are invited for coffee, and this week I've been inspired. Wherever I am, I give either the opening prayer or the closing prayer. So, I think this week, Honorary, I'm anointed to speak to God a few words. So, Master of Ceremonies, you'll allow me bless the people as they go for food.
Yes, sir.
So let's stand up.
No objection.
Let's stand up and recognize that we are in the presence of God, or the unmoved mover. We are in the presence of our Creator. And surely He said, when people meet and they are created in my image, then there I am in their midst. And where there is God, there is love. Where there is love, there is peace, there is joy, and importantly, there is faith and belief in the future. Want to thank you for the great evening that we've had, for the beautiful, touching words that have been shared with us to make us better leaders that are going to transform this country and this world. Want to thank you for the positions and for having chosen us among so many young people to be in this space. There is a reason why we are here, and we ask you to enable us find it for those who have not found it, and those who have found it to give us special blessing and wisdom to continue guiding us on the journey of our mission and the journey that you have sent us on. We call upon your mighty Holy Spirit to come and dwell amongst us, and importantly, connect us to your infinite wisdom, that every day of our lives we may be able to differentiate between what is bad and what is right, and be able to lead the people that you have entrusted us in your care into the right direction. As we return into our respective places and respective positions and work, we pray that you fill us with love, that whatever we touch it with love, and we spread love and a smile into this world. That at the end of the day, we may leave this world a better place than we found it, and when we are finally called into your glory, we may leave a great legacy in this world. It is that we call for, it is that we live for every day. And we pray that the blessings of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit come upon us, remain with us, stay with us, now and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you so much, Primos. I am sure after here, most of us will get saved because of this powerful prayer. So I have a small announcement. If I read your name, go to the registration desk, which is at Daisy, Wanyama Franklin, Matovu Arnold, Jimmy Katumba, and Nancy.
Faraja TV, authentic African voices.